Previously, when Queen Pamela lashed out at Princess Lewellyn for her audacity in making the Red Knights her escort, and by doing so, the Queen physically abused the princess, sternly ordering her to live within her boundaries. Later, Duke Almondite visited the princess's room, assuring her that he will punish every culprit and set things right for her, since he planned to resolve everything for the princess. Moreover, during her bedtime, the princess resolved never to let her guard down in front of the Duke, at least not for her dead mother and her brother Alpheus. So, let's dive into the chapters 23 and 24 of the manhwa, The Secret Bedroom of the Forsaken Princess. As Princess Lewellyn falls into her deep sleep, she dreams by recalling of the same night when the Asmodeus curse activated for the first time, which compelled her body to crave physical engagement with a man. Because of this, she left the banquet hall and came to the glass house to calm her body down. And how an unknown man followed her back to the glass house. But wait, till now, it remains uncertain to the princess as well as to the audience about the man's identity, with whom the princess unknowingly engaged physically to mitigate the power of the curse. So, let's unfold the identity of the man and the whole incident of that night. The mysterious man is none other than Duke Almondite, who inquires the princess about her physical well-being, at which the princess's eye glows in crimson red, showcasing the Asmodeus' control over her. The princess then abruptly turns back and grabs the hand of the Duke. By completely leaning her body towards the Duke, the princess conveys that she missed the Duke very much. And, as she pins him down on the floor, the Duke asks about what does she mean with her words. In the control of the curse, the princess starts tugging his coat. After that, pops a layer of his shirt which perplexed the Duke visibly. The Duke, at witnessing her actions, asks why the princess is doing this, and pleads her to stop this immediately, because the Duke can hear the noise of the other people at a distance, who are coming in their direction. However, the Duke suggests that they should find a different place if the princess wants to do it with him. Yet, the princess, by fully ignoring the Duke's words, puts her gazes at the macho body of him, which peeks through his shirt buttons. By sliding her hand inside his shirt, the princess asks if the Duke not wants to do it with her. To this, he blushed and tries to say something, but she interferes with him by sliding her hand towards him and by intervening her finger with his. The princess confidently states that she really wanted to do it with no other than the Duke. And, as she utters this, the curse starts taking control over the Duke and eventually bewitches him. By drowsing, he wonders about the smell coming out of the princess, which enable him to control himself. Dear viewers, apologies for the interruption. If you're genuinely enjoying the content on this channel, please consider hitting the subscribe icon with all notifications, since this little support of yours will help this creator continue delivering high-quality work to brighten your day. And take a moment at the end of the video to leave a comment, sharing your thoughts on the content. Your feedback means a lot. Now, let's not take up too much of your time and jump back into the story. After some time, they manage to find the center room of the glass house. At approaching the doors of the room, they desperately kiss each other on the lips like there is no tomorrow. On one side, the water drips out from the fountain, and, on the other, the Duke continuously presses his lips towards the princess. With a lack of breath, they come to a halt. The Duke reminds that the princess said that she missed him, so it means that she has forgiven him, upon which she affirms him, stating yes, she has forgiven him, and adds that why could he not come sooner, since she has been waiting for him all this time. Noting her answer, the Duke becomes confused visibly. Further, by getting emotional, the Duke abruptly embraces her in a romantic way. He then states that there are a lot of things he wanted to tell her, but he was in dilemma to what to say when they meet first. Moreover, the Duke was sure that the princess hated him, but still, he is fine with that, because the Duke is still happy if he knows that they could meet again like this. Plus, owing to the fact that she has forgiven him completely. With teary glances, the princess silently listens to his words, and later she interferes by saying why the Duke is making her to wait any longer, as she does not want to delay and wants to make the Duke her first man to do it. The princess fondles his chest, which makes the Duke to twist with nervousness. Further, she states that the Duke enduring is good, since he must have done it a lot, adding that she is very disappointed with him for this. To this, the Duke gets flustered and reveals that it is also his first, and the princess is his first woman. By removing her accessories, he again embraces her, stating that she will not forget this night ever. Under the sparkling light of the lamp, the Duke again continues his passionate kisses on her lips. Their smooching again comes to halt, with a scarcity of breath. With gloomy face, the Duke gazes at her face, at which the princess directly asks why he is staring her like that. The Duke maintains his silence a bit, and, by caressing her hair, states that it feels like he messed up the order, because he planned to clear up the misunderstanding between them first and then wanted to propose to her. After which, they get married and next they spend their first night in a more beautiful place. Listening to all this, the princess's eyes again start changing the color, in addition to the burning of the stigma behind her neck in red. By again becoming the puppet of the curse, she hugs him, stating that they first need to keep this relationship as a secret since they have a long way ahead of them before they can marry. Besides, she likes this place better than the royal palace for her first time with the Duke. By whispering in the Duke's ear, she suggests him to let's spend their honeymoon night first, then she will give him enough time to choose an engagement ring. At hearing these words from her mouth, the Duke gets embarrassed and perplexed at the same time. The Duke then puts his trembling hand behind her, and, by flopping the princess on the ground, he presses his body against her. He proceeds his kissing on her bare body, which prompts the princess to cry with a heavy breath. As the Duke is busy in his important business, he observes that the princess's hair is getting dirty with the surrounding soil. Obsession fills his eyes, and, by keep up his smooches, he lifts her in his arms like a baby. By bumping the unwanted things away, he places the princess on a table. The Duke, after showcasing that he is an excellent kisser, moves to explore the other areas of her. Determined to captivate her by his kisses, the Duke begins smooching those regions. Noting his talent in these things, the princess cannot stop her happiness, which comes out in her loud voice. As she gets exhausted, she pants while lying on the table. However, the Duke calls her, inquiring if it is true that the first time is always painful, and worriedly speaks that he might hurt the princess because of his inexperience. Moreover, at witnessing that how nervous and embarrassed the princess is, the Duke states that he will stop immediately if it is too much for her. But the princess clenches him from behind by crossing her legs against his waist. She then orders that the Duke should never stop even if it hurtful for her, and asks him to continue his business. In the glamorous dim light of the several lamps, the Duke unbuckles his belt. Additionally, as he inserts his injection, the princess begins to blush. At seeing her reaction, he thrusts his injection even deep, which causes the princess to tremble heavily, and she pleads with the Duke, expressing that it hurts her very much. Still, by biting her lips, she states him to continue the business with his injection. By complying, the Duke commences to pierce the area by moving his needle even far. Surprisingly, the Duke's hand also begins to tremble, and, as he grips the cloth to control his momentum, the Duke firmly asks the princess if she is okay and wants to take their business to next level. To this, she replies that yes, she wants to do it. Eventually, the Duke requests her to call him by the name she used to call in their childhood. By shuddering, she calls the Duke by referring him as Almond. And, as she does this, a beast power takes over the Duke, who presses her even more. Coming close to the princess's face, the Duke expresses that he can endure everything, as he imagines the days she call him Almond again. As their honeymoon night comes to an end, the Duke pats the head of the princess, stating that although they cleared their misunderstanding, they should keep this a secret from the outside world for her sake. Besides, he adds that he cannot wait for the sun to rise so that they can meet again. By gently cuddling the sleeping princess, the Duke announces that next morning he will formally propose to her, asking her to accept it with love. From here, the scene abruptly changes. As the princess wakes up from her last night's sleep, her mind becomes perplexed at reflecting that the hair color of the person who gave her the pain of the first night was black, and the eyes color of the one who licked her shed tears away was turquoise, asking her countless times if she was cold. Moreover, he made sure not a single hair of her touched the ground, as none other than Duke Almondite, who continued to dote on her and cherished her even after their first night. And, even if he is the man she hates the most, the sight of him at that time was so lovable, which prompts her to kiss him playfully lightly to silence his questions, making her to immerse in his arms happily as if she could not get any happier than this. From the revelation of her first night, the scene changes to the vibrant garden of the princess's residence, where Commander Tristan approaches the princess by asking about the cut on her face, to which she uninterestingly replies that it is merely a disciplinary action by her stepmother Queen Pamela, and rudely orders him to not intervene his nose in her personal business. The princess, at noting the commander expression, contemplates that of course he will be shocked, reflecting on who would have thought that the royal family would be this callous, since this is the same queen who executed the princess's own mother, backed by the powerful individuals who ensures the queen's victory without any trouble. Moreover, this is why the queen behaving in such an infantile manner. By turning, she adds to herself that this wound on her face serves as a warning for keeping the Red Knights on her side. Noting her dejected mood, the commander inquires if these incidents happen with her often. Keeping her silence for a bit, she again reflects her dreadful past memory, where many of her true allies left her as they understood the gravity of her situation, which was although painful for her to see them leave. Therefore, she hates it more when they pity her like this, which includes the commander also, because the commander is newly appointed, and does not know how much the royal family has been crushing her pride for the last 5 years. As we wrap up today's segment, thank you for being with us until the very end. I'll be sharing fresh videos of this manga and exciting new series every weekend. Your support is invaluable, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your encouragement keeps the channel thriving, and I appreciate it immensely. Until next time, take care and goodbye.